And just like that, Egypt is the next move. So, as you could tell from the title, I am moving away from America and moving to Egypt. And hopefully, I can close this suitcase by the end of this video. But in this video, I want to tell you about why I'm moving to Egypt, as well as anyone else who's considering a move in general. What are some tips and my experience with them so far? So first off, why did I decide to move to Egypt? Okay, so in my previous videos, you could probably tell that there's less and less stuff in my background because for the past couple of weeks and months, I've been planning this move. And well, basically, it started a few months ago when I got laid off from my tech job. I had a moment to think about what exactly did I want to do. Of course, I could easily run back and go back into the same corporate world, which I did at the beginning. I was like, you know what, this is great. Now I don't have to quit or anything, or if I find another job. So I did have a few interviews, but then I also got injured, right? I had my first surgery in my life. And then it made me think back, like, what is it basically? Because every setback, there is an opportunity, right? And what is that opportunity for me? I had to think deeply into it. And so I've looked into the first month or second month after my layoff. What are some of the things that I could do, right? I had my first entire Ramadan where I didn't work for like the past 10 years. The whole Ramadan I didn't work. So every single night I was at the masjid, right? That was a benefit. I was able to start an AI app, right? I had time to build that out, right? Time that I wouldn't have if I was working. I had time to spend more time with family, of course, make more videos, be more consistent in making videos. And I have to think about, like, what are some things in life that I wanted to accomplish, right? That my life wasn't, or my work wasn't allowing me to. And the number one thing was for me to move to Egypt or any Arabic country where I could learn the language. And Egypt was the top choice for me because I also had family members, previous family members that have went there before, right? And they learned Arabic by staying there for like a year or so. But of course, albeit they are much younger than me, so they had that flexibility, they had that freedom. And so that's one thing, to be honest, I was envious of them. I was like, man, I wish I was younger. I should have done that at a younger age. But then this opportunity came and I have a lot of time again. And I was like, this is the best time for me to learn, immerse myself in this new culture, and learn the Arabic language, which I've always wanted to do, not only for religious purposes, but also cultural purposes, because I love traveling, and learning Arabic is going to unlock 27 countries for me. I remember a year or so ago, I went to Morocco, and my experience would have been way more enriching if I learned the language. Right now, I was only speaking through like maybe hand signs, like this, how much is this, voice translation. And you can only get so far with that or with a tour guide. But if you learned the language, you're speaking locally. And I remember like some of the people over there in Morocco were actually thinking I was Moroccan until I spoke, and they're like, oh, whoa, you're not even Moroccan. But if I just had that language, I could get way more in-depth stories about the people that I meet on the streets on my travels. And so that's one thing, not only religiously, of course, which is the number one reason why I want to learn Arabic, but also culturally. And so that's why I'm deciding to immerse myself in Egypt, because that's the fastest way for me to be able to learn. Of course, there's online that you can do, but being in the culture, there's nothing that's going to be able to top that. And another reason why I'm traveling is because traveling unlocks so many, or moving basically, which is the same, of course, traveling, but moving to a different location is one of the biggest unlocks in life, because you can literally move to somewhere, and just by being in that location, being in that proximity, you can have so much opportunities. And this is my life basically for the past 5 years, so that's why I'm very comfortable with making this move. And this is an advice for anyone else that's planning to make a move or anywhere else. Basically, moving for the past, just a quick background, for the past 5 years, I've lived, this is my first international trip, but I've lived in 6 different zip codes all across America for the past, over the past 5 years. I'm like literally moving every 2 years from California to the East Coast, DC, to the Midwest, right? I've been in all those locations, sometimes for work, sometimes for my own sake, and I've learned something new every single time, right? You get to learn new people, you get new ideas, you get better opportunities, right? Sometimes just being in that location, and we all know this. If you want to be in finance, you have to go to New York. If you want to be an actor, a filmmaker, you have to be in LA. If you want to be in tech startup, you have to go to Silicon Valley, right? The chances of you being born in a city that aligns with the things that you're interested in is very unlikely, right? There's big metropolitan cities all across, maybe, I don't know how much is it, 32 metropolitan cities, and each one is known for a certain thing across the world. And the chances of you, for example, if you're a filmmaker, for you to be born in LA is very unlikely. So you need to move and be in that proximity for those opportunities to hit you, for you to increase your surface area for luck, right? And that's one thing that I've completely seen, and that is 100% true over the past 5 years that I've come to realize throughout my travels, right? When I went to DC for cybersecurity, right? Those are all where all the cybersecurity jobs were mostly allocated. And I got to learn about that industry, got to meet like senators, like literally within my first year, I was meeting senators of the US, like the bureaucratical system, all of that. When I was in California, I got to meet so many people. But this is just what I'm telling you about. Being in proximity to certain locations, being in certain areas will just increase your opportunities. And so for me right now, Egypt, of course, it's an Arabic country, speaking country, and I'm able to just being in there, like by default, all of the language I'll pick up, but also I'll be forcing myself through classes and curriculums and things like that to make myself very well versed in that language within the next year or so. For anyone else that's interested in moving, this is my advice: do it. Don't live in the same city that you grew up in, because you're just stunting your opportunities and your growth basically at that point. So anyone that has made an international move before, whether it's Egypt or anywhere else, please let me know. I need some advice in the comments. And for everyone else, you can see my journey over the next year or so. All on here, I'll be trying to keep a weekly update on things that I do, what I learned, as well as some of the business ventures that I'll try to establish over the next few months, whether that's videos, whether that's the startup that I'm working on. I'll give more details in one of the more upcoming videos. And just life in general in Egypt, and the difference between America and Egypt, and those types of videos. I'll be making many of those. And of course, my recovery with my first surgery, after my first surgery, and getting back into the gym. How are the gyms in Egypt? And you'll see me hopefully get back into my previous form. If you're interested in any of those types of videos, be sure to follow along for the journey, and would be happy to have you. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Now I just need to figure out how to close this suitcase. I'm just kidding. It's not that difficult, but we'll see.